Angel's dead. Her body was discovered early yesterday morning off the river. Klongbang.
Stephen arrives at Kane's place on a bike, and one of Kane's men checks him and lets him inside. Kane calmly asks Stephen if he's angry and demands the money. He expresses doubt in Stephen's trust after everything. Stephen prepares to hand over the money, but Kane says this will be their last deal. He's now working for Jojo. Stephen says Jojo is a small-time guy with unstable sources. Kane replies Jojo gave him the same product quality as Stephen. Stephen claims that's because Jojo got it from him and is now reselling it cheaply. Kane then brings up how he met Angel, Stephen's girlfriend, a few years back, before she met Stephen. Kane offers Stephen 10% of Jojo's cut to stay in, but Stephen refuses, calling him a weak follower. Kane's men attack Stephen, but Stephen shoots one of them. Kane, excited, reminds him there's a sniper outside. Suddenly, the sniper appears and aims at Kane. Kane says, "It's just business." Stephen agrees, but says what Kane said about Angel is personal. He shoots Kane, sets the place on fire, and leaves. The next morning, a woman's body is found in a river. Detective Peter wakes up to birthday wishes from his family and eats breakfast with them. Then he leaves for work. Meanwhile, Stephen drinks wine, thinking about Angel. At the crime scene, police and bystanders gather. Peter arrives in his car, and his partner, Karn, greets him on his 50th birthday. He informs him an elderly woman found the victim, a Euro-Asian girl in her late teens. The medical examiner is working on the time and cause of death. Peter checks the body and reveals her name is Angel. Later, he travels to Ho Chi Minh City and meets Johnny at their usual spot. Peter informs Johnny that Angel is dead. Her body was found early yesterday morning near Klong, Bangkok, Noi. She was discovered naked with her wrists bound. Peter decides to return and work the case while Johnny stays under the radar. Peter believes his partner will have leads, and once they find those responsible, Johnny can do what he wants. But for now, he must follow Peter's rules. Johnny offers to handle things alone since he has a family, but Peter insists they do it together. In Bangkok, Karn asks Peter if Johnny is involved in this case. Peter reveals Johnny and he were both recruited by the CIA as locals. They met during training, became Americans, joined the military, and returned 12 years later. Peter became a cop and Johnny went private. Karn mentions Angel had a titanium rod in her arm, a few years old, done at a select hospital. Johnny arrives and sees Angel's body. He breaks down, remembering her childhood and expressing his love for her. He later sits by the river in grief. Peter arrives with Karn and introduces Johnny. Karn has tracked 3 suspects. One is Crystal, Angel's friend, and her boyfriend Patrick. She's half Thai, he's Turkish. They've been in Bangkok for 6 years. Karn thinks they'll be at Kaosayananda tonight. Johnny prepares himself, aware of the danger. Peter warns him this is deeply personal. Later, Karn tracks Crystal and Patrick while Peter follows Stephen. Stephen arrives at a hideout where his men wait for instructions. Peter arrives, but a guard tries to stop him. Stephen makes a call to arrange a meeting. Johnny and Peter shoot his men. Stephen escapes, but shoots back. Johnny briefly catches him, but Stephen flees again. The police arrest Johnny, and Peter rushes in. After escaping, Stephen remembers the last time he saw Angel. He tried to stop her, but she insisted on leaving. When he told her he loved her, she found it sweet, which triggered him to hit her. Meanwhile, Peter, Johnny, and Karn head to Kaosan. Peter instructs them to split up and tells Karn to check other spots. He meets a local woman who usually knows everything happening in the area. She agrees to help and notices Johnny, realizing he's not a cop. Peter shows her pictures of Angel, Crystal, and Patrick. She says they're all good kids. Peter reveals Angel is Johnny's daughter, and her body was found 3 days ago. The woman comforts Johnny and shares her past encounter with Angel. 3 years ago, Angel came to her looking for work. She was persistent and didn't want a middleman. Though the woman didn't help her, Angel entered the trade alone and rose quickly. She was smart, beautiful, and protected by powerful people. One name stands out: Jojo. He operates in this area and targets young, foreign backpackers desperate for money. On the way back, Johnny spots a man offering 2 girls a ride to his friend's restaurant. Johnny intervenes, gives the girls money, and tells them to stay safe until their flight. Peter and Karn visit a bar and speak to a man who saw Angel with Crystal and Patrick a week ago. 2 days ago, Crystal and Patrick returned alone. The man praises Angel's good behavior. Peter says they need to find the couple for questioning. Later, Stephen meets Jojo, who hasn't seen him in days. Johnny watches the same man from earlier and follows him. He shoots Jojo. Peter and Karn hear the gunshots and find Johnny. Peter is furious. Karn creates a cover story, but Johnny insists Jojo died of a heart attack and left no evidence behind. Johnny tells Peter that Jojo worked for several establishments in Patong, recruiting women for them. Along with 2 other men, he helped break in the recruits. Jojo's iPhone holds names, contacts, pictures, and video clips. He also mentioned that one of his bosses used to date Angel. A man named Kun Nate, connected to Jojo, can be found at a bar called Badabing. Peter apologizes to Karn, saying he shouldn't be involved, but Karn insists he's a Royal Thai police officer with a duty to protect the city. Peter hands Karn weapons for Johnny and asks him to stick close to him. Stephen meets a woman and asks about Jojo. She tells him Jojo is no longer a problem and advises him to leave town until things settle down. It's bad for business. Meanwhile, Karn leaves Johnny in the car, asking him to wait while he checks one of the bars. When he returns, he says security is tight. He gives Johnny an untraceable 6-shooter from the glove box, but tells him not to go inside yet. However, Johnny enters the bar anyway. He tells the manager he's looking for Kun Nate and that Jojo sent him. He bribes the manager, who leads him to a back room. There, Johnny attacks him with a string. Other armed men rush in, but Johnny overpowers and shoots them, taking their weapons and killing them one by one. Johnny then confronts Kun Nate and asks about his relationship with Angel. Kun Nate says he loved her, but she didn't love him back. Johnny accuses him of killing her. When Kun Nate is shocked, Johnny shoots his father. Kun Nate admits he met Angel a year ago at an exclusive club called My Egg, a members-only sex club. The access card is in his wallet. Johnny shoots him too. Later, Peter arrives at the scene with the police. Later, as rain pours down, Peter sees Johnny standing silently near his car. He picks him up and drives for a while before pulling over and getting out. Peter vents his frustration, saying he has cleaned up 15 bodies in the last 12 hours. They begin to argue. Peter says he's put everything on the line, his job, his family's safety, because of Johnny. He asks if Johnny even realizes the damage he's causing. Johnny breaks down, shouting that his daughter was a whore, and starts crying uncontrollably. Peter approaches him slowly, trying to console him. Later that night, Peter takes Johnny home with him. Johnny meets Ploy, Peter's wife. She hugs him warmly and offers her condolences for his loss. The next day, Johnny visits Sarah. He tells her that Angel is dead and was murdered. He asks Sarah if she has any idea why. Sarah says she doesn't know anything and reminds him she hasn't lived in the country for years. Angel moved out 2 years ago. Sarah asks Johnny when he last saw their daughter and starts crying. She admits she sometimes misses him and asks if he ever misses her. Johnny says no. What he misses most is that he never lied. He reminds her she left him and took their only child. There's nothing to miss. Sarah says she wants to be informed about the funeral arrangements. Later, Peter informs Johnny that Karn has located the remaining suspects, and they plan to end it that night. Meanwhile, Stephen prepares to flee the country. Peter, Karn, and Johnny travel by boat to Angel's old house. Karn explains her closest friends are there, hiding in a 3-bedroom house near Klong, Bangkok Yai, just 2 kilometers from where Angel's body was found. Once they enter the house, Peter finds Crystal and Patrick asleep. Johnny walks into Angel's bedroom, looking at her photos. Karn enters and informs him Crystal and Patrick are awake. Johnny introduces himself to Crystal and Patrick and asks if they knew his daughter. Crystal says she was Angel's best friend, and this is her house. She last saw Angel a week ago when she stopped by to get some coke. She hasn't seen her since. Peter points out Angel's body was found nearby. Crystal explains they both had keys to each other's homes. Johnny tells her Angel was murdered, her body dumped in the water. He asks if anyone wanted her dead. Crystal says many men were obsessed with Angel, but she was smart and careful. She liked Stephen, but wasn't in love with him. When Johnny presses, Crystal says Angel loved a man named Sammy from Bangkok Bar. He wasn't rich, but she loved him. As they leave, an explosion hits the house. Johnny sees a man waiting, and they're all captured. The man shoots Karn and turns to Johnny. Johnny asks if he killed Angel. The man says he loved her and that all of this is a mistake. Peter points out he just killed a police officer. The man says they are more alike than they realize. He lost his daughter Lisa when she was 15, during a trip to Manila while he was serving in Kosovo. He's lived ever since with guilt and helplessness, haunted every night. Peter accuses him of profiting from what destroyed his daughter. The man says he honors Lisa's memory by protecting other women, claiming men will always exploit them, and at least he treats them well. He says he loved Angel more than her own father. Peter brings up Angel's broken arm. The man insists it was a mistake and says Angel was with another man in his house. Johnny challenges him and warns that if he's not killed now, he'll come for him. Later, as the man tries to leave, Johnny stops him and asks if he knows how Angel died. The The man quietly says yes and walks away. Peter and Johnny break free and Johnny says they're going after him. He asks if Karn had any family. Peter says he had a mother in California. The next day, the man heads to the train station to leave the country. On the platform, he spots Peter on the train and bumps into Johnny. Moments later, he feels something in his chest and collapses, dying on the spot. Afterward, Peter and Johnny decide to visit My Egg Club. A woman watches them from a distance in her car. That night, they enter the high-end club. A hostess greets them and explains the membership costs 2 million baht a year, with complimentary drinks and other services charged separately. Johnny hands her money, saying he likes them young. She quotes a price of $500,000 for both. Johnny warns her they expect quality or there'll be consequences. She assures them and leads them upstairs, where 4 young girls are presented. Johnny tells her to talk to her bosses about a deal. He wants all 4 girls for the night and promises to pay in full by morning if satisfied. Once she leaves, Johnny knocks out 2 guards. Peter and Johnny move through the club, shooting anyone who resists. A man attacks Johnny, but he fights back and kills him. Then Johnny enters a room and finds Steven. He demands the truth about Angel. When Johnny says he's Angel's father, Steven mocks him. Johnny reveals Angel was killed because she was with someone else. Steven says he was that someone. They fight, and Johnny kills him with a poisoned needle. Johnny asks one of the girls at the club about Angel. She says Angel used to work there but left years ago. She came on her own, made connections, and disappeared. Angel knew how to handle people, especially men. The girl says many liked her, and Angel was the kind of woman men would kill for. She understood how men worked and used that to her advantage. She met someone, and though the girl doesn't know who, it changed her. Angel dumped all her clients and never returned. Many regulars kept coming back, hoping to find a replacement, but no one matched her. Later, Peter and Johnny leave the club. They visit a man named Mekial. Johnny is injured, stabbed with an ice pick. Inside, Mekial gives him alcohol and treats his wounds. Johnny passes out from the pain, and Mekial tells Peter to give him 4 painkillers when he wakes up. While preparing to disinfect his wounds, Mekial says he's surprised they haven't heard from his friend, the owner of the club they destroyed the night before. Later, Peter and Johnny meet with the same woman who had been watching them earlier. Peter asks her about her connection to Steven. She admits Steven was her business partner, but she denies killing Angel, saying Angel was like a sister to her. She tells Johnny to leave Bangkok, warning that he's making things difficult. In exchange, she offers to tell him the truth about Angel's death. She says there's a video. Sammy uploaded a clip from Patrick's phone to his laptop. Before leaving, she tells Johnny that none of this is his fault. Peter and Johnny later watch the footage. In the video, Angel is laughing in a swimming pool with friends. Suddenly, she starts struggling to breathe and dies.